We got issues. You got issues. All God's children have issues. How are we going to deal with them? Hey, good morning. Welcome back to Pure South Pastures. I'm Mark. Today, I want to talk to you about struggles and problems on your farm or ranch. Or maybe you're looking at homesteading and getting into it. There's so many great channels, and I'm going to be doing a video soon about the different channels that I really subscribe to. I subscribe to a lot of people, but the ones that I'm really looking to for certain things, and I want to kind of do a channel dump so that I can share with you the things that I learned from different people and why I watch them. But I also want to tell you today that you can watch all kinds of different people, and I love the content that people put out, and they help me so much. But nothing will ever replace putting your hands to it and doing it. So you can watch channels all day long and you can see what other people are doing. But there's always a sense of, there's no risk in watching other people, right? There's a great sense of risk in getting animals, figuring it out. And here's the deal. On the farm or on your ranch or on a homestead, there are always going to be issues. There's always going to be problems. You're always fixing problems. Right now, I feel like everywhere I turn, there's an issue, right? And so I wanted to talk about that today because that's the reality of it. Sometimes we can watch videos and we can see the homesteading life and it can look very romanticized. It can seem, oh, look at this. Speaking of romanticized, I'm trying to talk to you and she's doing that, but it can seem really, just kind of this idealistic idea and it looks so great. And it is, it is amazing. I love this component of our life, but I also want to tell you it comes with lots of problems. When you're raising animals, there are always going to be issues. The more animals you add, the more issues you add. And so right now we have issue after issue that we're dealing with. I want to take you along today and just share with you how we're solving some of those. One of those is there are some animal issues, but one of them is it's a forage issue. We're in the middle of a drought, and it just continues to be dry, even in the season when we should be getting rain. So today I want to just talk about how we're dealing with that, what our fall plan looks like for grazing, but also I want to share with you how we're dealing with some of the issues that we're dealing with here with animals on the farm. We got issues. You got issues. All God's children have issues. How are we going to deal with them? So one of the problems I'm dealing with right now is I got these sheep. It wasn't a planned move. It was trying to help somebody out, and it was a great opportunity for me. But I'm just saying it wasn't something that I had planned. So I didn't have protection in place when I got them. So I'm trying to work on that. And this past week we dealt with coyotes. Man, we had coyotes. All the animals were up by the house, and we had coyotes in the yard. I did a video on that. So this past week we kind of battled with that, and so we have a livestock dog that's not trained to be with them, and he's a little bit old, and so I don't know if he's ever going to get acclimated to stay with them. So I'm working on that, and I'll show you what I'm doing with him in just a minute. But so these animals are I love the sheep, and I hope we can work something out where they stay here. They're really doing good. We've been grazing them, moving them. When they came here, they had feet problems, and we've been working on that. So far, they haven't had a lot of feet problems. They limp a little bit, but they seem to get over it in a day or two. This cow, on the other hand, has got an issue. This cow is the thinnest cow that I have. She stays thin all the time. She's been producing great calves. That's why I've kept her. Let me flip the camera around and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So she has the vet believes it's an issue with a calf. I had her palpated a few weeks ago because I was going to butcher her for ground beef because she didn't produce a calf last year. But the vet believes that her calf that they've confirmed is there is positioned against a nerve that affects her back legs. So she's just struggling to walk. She's not fully crippled, and her appetite is great, so she continues to eat. But her walking is just really, really bad. Her back legs drag real bad. I'll show you. I'll make her move just a little bit. See, she's real slow to get around. And I won't bother her anymore because she's kind of over here in the shade. So this morning, we don't do a lot of injections here. We don't do routine vaccinations. But when an animal's struggling and suffering like this, I always want to try to help it out. So that's why I contacted the vet. The vet gave me some Venamine, some vitamin E, and I gave those in the neck this morning. I got her up and gave those. I'll give some more tomorrow afternoon after church. So anyway, I just hate to see an animal struggling like that. She's been having a tough time. I thought it might just go away, but it's not. And so hopefully these injections will help her. We'll have to make a decision on what we do after that. I don't know if this is a culling issue. We have to make that decision. But she's not my favorite cow anyway. So, but I don't want to lose her. I don't want to lose the calf that's in her because it's from our South Pole bull. And look at that calf. That's an old from the previous people that own the land. They put an electric fence wire holder there, so that's pretty funny. She was licking on it and sucking on it. So the cows are they're grazing in this paddock today. Put them in here this morning, and it's mediocre forage. I'll examine that a little bit in just a minute. We're going to talk about, before we're done today, we're going to talk about our grazing plan for the fall, and kind of what we're going to try to do, what we're looking at up against the drought. So that's not fun. Let me show you my livestock guardian dog and what I'm doing with him right now. All right, y'all, this is Knox. He is he's a mix. He's a Great Pyrenees Anatolian Shepherd Akbash mix. He's the dog that we brought home. He's 2 years old. Brought him home from Missouri and he ran away. 8 days later, we got him home, and we've been working with him ever since to see if he will guard our animals. Now, I will say, when we were battling with coyotes last week, he held his own. We heard him in some conflict outside, so I know he was fighting with them, running them off. But the problem is, he just wants to roam. He's never been contained. He's never been kept close to animals. He just kind of did his own thing, and so he was bonded to sheep, but he just ran all over 140 acres. That just won't work in our setting because we're right on a highway. He wants to run across the road and stay over there all day. It just doesn't. It's not effective for us. So something that I'm trying, and I'm probably going to catch a lot of flack for it. I'm trying to keep him. He's touched electric fence, so that was kind of the major issue in the beginning. So he's really scared around electric fence. And so the way that we keep our animals in is with one strand. This one strand keeps sheep and cattle in. And we run that around the paddock that we're in, wherever we are. And so he just ducks under it if he's free. So what I've done is I've put a chain on him. I've connected that chain to a light tire. This isn't a real heavy tire. He can drag it around. It just slows him down. But what it does is it keeps him immobile enough that he doesn't feel like he can navigate or be agile enough to get under or over a fence, an electric wire. So that is my attempt, and some people are going to call me crazy, or I'm sure I can hear the comments now about how mean that is. But it doesn't do us any good to have a dog that roams all over the country. I mean, when we found him after we brought him home and he took off, he was miles away. I mean, miles away. So that does nobody any good, and it sure doesn't do our sheep who are under coyote pressure. It doesn't do them any good. So trying to keep him in this paddock where he can be close to the sheep, especially at nighttime. But we've got to get him acclimated to staying in and being here. So the tire tool is that's something that we're trying right now. Here's how I did this very simply. Just drilled a hole through it, put that eye bolt in, ran it through and did a washer, and it's really, really secure. It's really, I think this is really important. This is actually off of some of my traps, but I like to trap coyotes. But this is just a swivel to make sure that he doesn't get tangled up. So you got a swivel here, a swivel there, and then on this end is attached, and he has a swivel there. So I think the more swivels you can have, if you're doing a chain, the more swivels you can have, the better it is for the dog, because he's not going to get it all wrapped up and tangled up. Now, that doesn't mean he won't drag it around something and get tangled up that way. So I have to stay pretty consistently checking on him just to make sure he doesn't get pulled up somewhere and he can't get free. That's another reason I didn't do like a 30-foot chain. I thought about it, but the longer it is, the more probability he has of getting wrapped up around a fence post or something like that, where he's just hung up and can't, or he might even on a step-in post. If he's dragging that thing, he might get it around there and pull up step-in post, and the fence goes down and the whole deal goes down. So key to this is just being able to watch, staying in contact, making sure that he's okay. So that's what we're trying to do right now. And I'll keep you updated on how that goes. He hates it. He don't like it. He doesn't want to be contained, and that's part of this, the breed. I get it. That's part of what he does, but I've got to get him acclimated to the animals and even bonded. So the deal with the dog, you know, it really is a frustrating thing to bring him home, and it seemed like everything I was doing, he really wanted to stay up on the porch by the house, and that just doesn't do us any good. So it's a problem, right? It's an issue, but we're going to try to fix it. We're going to give it our best shot of making a go of this dog and keeping him out here. He has the instinct to guard, and I think if we can get him bonded to the animals and get them acclimated to him, but also him to them. We're definitely in a drought. It's been weeks and weeks and weeks since we've had any rain, and when we got about 1.5 inches. Before that, it had been weeks and weeks, a little over a month since we had rain. So we've had 100-degree temperatures before the last rain. Then after the last rain, it's been pretty cool, and that's been a saving deal. And we've got, you know, there's a lot of dry Bermuda, some crabgrass. You see some weeds in here as well, some forbs, some bull nettle. There's forage here, but a lot of it is lignified, dried. You can see over here. We obviously have the goat weed, which we battle with all the time, but a drought makes it even worse. But I mean, you know, there's a lot of forage here. I mean, it's a lot of Bermuda. It's not real high quality, and it's almost exclusively warm season grass. So this is what we're feeding them. We've stockpiled this stuff. We've let it grow, and then on the back fields back here, they have more forage on them than they've had since we've lived here for the last 3 years. We were able to purchase that last year. We grazed it a couple times early in the season. We fed hay on it all last year, rolled out hay on it. But we didn't graze much back there. There's this field and then the field behind that. So what we're trying to do is allow that to grow. As you can see, it doesn't have a lot of great growth on it, but there's more than I've seen since I've lived here. And so after we take the forage off of this, we're going to actually go back there and we're going to supplement with some protein source, and we're going to try to graze that like stockpile. I don't know how it's going to do because it is warm season grass and that doesn't hold a lot of nutritive value for a long time, but we're going to give it a go and see what happens. We have some hay in the middle of purchasing some hay right now so that we have it in case this doesn't work out well. But we're going to come in here and we're going to try to feed protein, take this down, and use it kind of like a standing hay. And we'll just see what the animal performance does as we do that. We'll watch them really closely, and if we need to supplement some hay with it, we'll give them some large areas, but we'll try to take most of this down. We'll get most of that, and then we'll go to the field over here, and then the field in the back as well. I walked back there this morning, and some of that is hard to walk in. It's so thick, so deep, so it doesn't really look like this. It looks a lot better than this. So we're going to give that a try. We might get another 20 days out of it, maybe 30 days out of feeding this way before we have to go to hay. So if we can go to the middle of December or even January 1st, man, that would be huge. That'd be a huge savings for us on hay. And if you've ever had any experience trying to stockpile warm season grass, if you could share with me in the comments. I don't know that I've seen anybody that really talks about it a lot. I know it's going to take a protein supplement for them to be able to digest a lot of this stuff, because it's just lignified, and especially after we get a frost, it's gonna turn brittle. So we're gonna give it a try. It may not work, and people may call me crazy for trying it, but that's what we want to do. We want to give it a try this year and see how it goes. So I think we're gonna feed cottonseed meal as a protein source, and then see if that'll help them digest and really go after this stuff that's out here. So we got a little bit of grazing here on the home farm before we move back here to the new farm. And so while we're on this, we'll just, we're not doing any kind of protein supplement. There's a pretty good amount of green in here, and so that's helping them quite a bit. Sheep are back here just chilling, hanging out. It's good. Love it. So make no mistake, there will always be problems. There's always problems, right? And probably in any area of life, there's always going to be problems, but it's really about how you approach it. Sometimes I just get frustrated about, it seems like every time I turn around, there's a problem. Right now, I got a freezer that went down. I got to get it. It's a brand new freezer. Always problems. So, you know, there's a lot of, it's easy to watch YouTube, all the homesteads, all the farms, all the ranches, and really just kind of see the, you know, the good side, or how fun it looks, or how nice it looks to be on the land. And it is. It's wonderful. It's a beautiful thing. But can I tell you, there's also stress. There's also having to make hard decisions. You have to deal with drought. You have to deal with sick animals. You have to deal with the struggle of not knowing what to do with the dog. You have to deal with broken down equipment. All of that happens. It's all daily part of it. And so make no mistake about it. It is a fun, exciting, great way of life. It also has its challenges. So when the challenges come, you got to keep your head up. You know, it's just like any other area of life. Jesus said, in this world, you will have trouble. He also said that he's overcome the world. So, you know, it really is about how you approach it, how you go after it. I want to keep my head up. I want to keep going. I want to fight for the best. And when you're in a drought, you deal with it, right? You give it your best. When you have a sick animal, you deal with it. You help them, and you figure out what to do with them later. When you have you know, animals that you have to protect, and you're trying to figure that out, like these helpless little guys behind me, I love them, and so I want the dog to work out. So right now he's in a time when he don't like what I'm putting him through. He doesn't like the tire on him, and a lot of people say, well, that's harsh or that's mean. It's trying to get him to do what I brought him here to do. So we're going to fight through that until hopefully either he works, or we'll have to get another one, you know, something else. We'll figure that out, and he can be somebody's pet. So anyway, it's really about a mentality. It's about approaching it from a mentality. We're going to have trouble, but we're going to work through it. And this heifer is wearing me out. she is something else, man. She's beautiful too. Look at her. Oh, this is what's good. This is the good stuff. It makes the hard moments a little bit easier. So anyway, today I just wanted to talk about some of the stuff we're going through. We're going to work through this drought. We're going to feed some protein supplement and try to still take some of the forage that's standing. I think we have quite a bit of ability to do that if it works. We'll watch the animal performance. So we'll see how that goes. Again, I would love to hear from some of you if you've ever tried that. This is not Greg Judy's fescue. I can promise you that. Whole different context. So it's not the same kind of forage. So the question is, will it hold up and have any kind of nutritive value? Or are we better off just feeding hay? So hopefully we can do it without feeding the hay, because that's just one more input that we can use our land to minimize. So hopefully that's going to work. I'll keep you posted on it. It'll be an experiment, and these warm season grasses, if they will give us some kind of ability to go through the winter, I think we're going to be set for the future. So it's a huge experiment for us, and follow along. We'll keep you updated on how it goes. Hey, God bless you guys. I appreciate you watching, listening to my ramblings, and just my idea about mindset through struggle. Keep your head up. If you're going through tough times, even if it's not about farming, if life is just tough right now, and I encourage you to keep your head up. I can honestly tell you from personal experience, in the hardest times of our lives, through loss, through grief, through hardship, in the hardest times of our lives, I don't know how we would have made it without a relationship with Christ. And so today, from the deepest place of my heart, I encourage you, turn to the Lord in the toughest times of life. Turn to the Lord today. Allow Him to help you. He wants to lift your burdens. He wants to take away your anxiety. He cares for you, Scripture says. God bless you guys. Have a good one. Hey, don't forget to like and subscribe. Share this with somebody who would enjoy the content. And I'm so grateful for you. Thanks for watching today. God bless you guys. See ya.